Hajra. Today we are going to be studying about different types of variables. But before going on to the different types of variables, we have to know what a variable is. So a variable is a quantity which can assume a range of numerical values. It is a concept that can take a different quantitative values. It is also referred to as an event as a process that can be changed or can change on its own accord. It may be a height of a person, age of a children, rainfall at variable places, etc. But the thing is, it can take different values according to the situations. So in short, we can say that aspect or theory which can change or cause effect to the result of a study can be said as variable. In another form, we can also say it as those things that we are measuring or collecting data or information on or forming groups or in order to conduct our research study and answer our questions. So basically, I already studied what a variable is. In very simple terms, we can say it is something or a quantity which takes various numerical values. So other examples we can say are the gender of students enrolled, eye color, vehicle types, etc. So now we can move on to the different types of variables, and the first type that we are going to study is independent and dependent variable, which we have already studied a lot of time, so we can just go through it. The independent variable, so we already know that independent variable are those variables, so those factors which the researcher we manipulate in order to study the effect it has on other variable, which is known as the dependent variable. So independent variable is a variable that is changed or controlled in a scientific experiment to test the effects on the dependent variable. So that is why it is also known as stimulus variable or antecedent variables, and it is also known as, it has other names like the experimental or predictor variable. So these are the variables which are manipulated in an experiment in order to observe the effect it has on the dependent variable. We can look into the examples of independent variable after looking into the meaning of the dependent variable too. So the dependent variable is the one which is being affected by the changes in or the manipulations that we are doing on the independent variable. So these are the variables which change as a result of or in response to the variations of the independent variable. That is, the independent variables have a direct effect on the dependent variable. The one being tested and measured, which means the researcher is actually measuring the dependent variable. The independent variable is only a tool of manipulation for him to measure the dependent variable. And that is why dependent variable is also known as response variable or consequent variable. Here we can look into an example. That is, the experiment or the research is that whether the test scores are impacted by the amount of time spent sleeping the night before a test. So here basically we are checking whether the time we sleep affects our marks in examinations. So here the independent variable is the sleep and the dependent variable is the test scores or the marks, because we are actually manipulating the time of sleep and we are measuring the effect it has on the test scores acquired by the students. This is a general example, and if you're looking on to an organizational context, we can say that promotion can be considered to be an independent variable and employee motivation can be dependent variable in a study which measures employee motivation in the organization. Next, we can move on to the other type of variable, which is the extraneous variable. Extraneous variables are the independent variables, that is, other independent variables which have an effect on the dependent variable. One feature that it has in common with independent variable is that it has the ability to affect the dependent variable, but the researcher has no effect on the extraneous variable, unlike the independent variable. In the case of independent variable, the researcher manipulates it, but in extraneous variable, the researcher does not manipulate it. And these variables are not affected by any manipulations or changes made on the independent variable. And these are considered to be undesirable variables which influence the relationship between the variables. And it is said to be undesirable variable because they can only add error to an experiment. So in short, we can say that extraneous variable is any variable other than the independent variable that could cause a change in the dependent variable. And a researcher always tried to decrease the influence of extraneous variable on the dependent variables. We can better understand extraneous variable through an example. So here the example is that a research is being conducted to know whether online learning increases student understanding of statistics. So for this, two groups are made. One group uses an online knowledge base to study and the other group uses traditional text. So here we know the independent variable is the study material and the dependent variable is the understanding of statistics. But here there is a possibility of occurrence of an extraneous variable which is the prior knowledge of statistics. So in this case, researcher, in order to reduce the influence of extraneous variable on the dependent variable, that is the understanding of statistics, what he can do is that he has to ensure that the group A and group B both have the same capacity or the same knowledge base regarding statistics, so that any influence of the extraneous variable will not be there. And in the same research, there may be other extraneous variables like socioeconomic conditions, the income, temperature of the testing room, support from the home, etc. The next one is confounding variables. And confounding variable is very similar to extraneous variable in the sense it is actually a type of extraneous variable. The basic meaning that we can say about extraneous variable is that extraneous variables are those that vary within the levels of independent variables which challenge the validity of experimental results are known as confounding variables. Or in a very simpler terms, you can say a confounding variable is an extra variable that you didn't account for. That is, they can ruin an experiment and it can give you useless results. And these confounding variables directly affect how the independent variable acts on dependent variable and is changed systematically with each other. So in another manner, you can say is that anytime there is another variable in experiment that offers an alternative explanation for the outcome, it has the potential to become a confounding variable. So basically, both in the case of extraneous and confounding variable, while we are speaking theoretically, we can say that a researcher conducts a research and there are independent variables, dependent variables. You manipulate the independent variables and you measure the results in dependent variables and your research is done. But in the real world, that doesn't happen. In the sense, there are many other complications that can affect the research of a researcher, and these complications or these effects which will occur on the dependent variable is known as extraneous or confounding variables. So when an extraneous variable varies to changes systematically along with the variations that you're studying, it is called confounding variable. That is the difference between extraneous and confounding variables, or what makes an extraneous variable confound. അതായത് നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്ന കാര്യം, അത് നമ്മൾ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റ് വേരിയബിളാണ് പഠിക്കുന്നത്, അതിൻ്റെ ചേഞ്ചസ് മറ്റൊരു വേരിയബിളിൻ്റെ ചേഞ്ച് അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ഇൻഡിപെൻഡൻറ്റ് വേരിയബിൾ എങ്ങനെ എഫക്റ്റ് ആകുന്നോ അതേപോലെ തന്നെ മറ്റൊരു വേരിയബിൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ചേഞ്ചസും ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റ് വേരിയബിളിൽ അതേ സെയിം ഡയറക്റ്റ്ലി എഫക്റ്റ് ആവുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള എക്സ്ട്രേനിയസ് വേരിയബിളാണ് കൺഫൗണ്ടിങ് വേരിയബിളായിട്ട് മാറുന്നത്. If you're looking for an example, we can say, if you're researching whether lack of exercise leads to weight gain, the lack of exercise is your independent variable and weight gain is your dependent variable. No confusion in that. And here, the confounding variable is any other variable that also has an effect on your dependent variable. That is, any other variable which will have an effect on the factor weight gain. So here, a confounding variable, a possible confounding variable is age of the person. Age of the person can be a confounding variable because not just the activity level but age can also play an important factor, or it can play an important role in the weight gain of the person. So, just like extraneous variable, the researcher also tries to decrease the influence of confounding variables because it causes many problems to the research, like it increases variances and introduce bias. So, basically, researcher tries to find out the confounding variables that are there relating to his topic of study and try to reduce its influence on the dependent variable. And the example that is given here is that the relationship between background music and task performance amongst employees at a packing facility. അതായത് ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പം റിസർച്ച് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു പാക്കിംഗ് ഫെസിലിറ്റിയിൽ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് മ്യൂസിക് പ്ലേ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് എത്രത്തോളം പ്രൊഡക്ടിവിറ്റിനെ എഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ എന്നുള്ളതാണ് പഠിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ റിസർച്ചർ എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ രണ്ട് ഗ്രൂപ്പൊന്നും ചെയ്യാതെ ഇപ്പം ഒറ്റ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് വെച്ചാൽ പഠിക്കുന്നത്. ഇഫ് യു ആർ അസ്യൂമിങ് ദാറ്റ്, ആൻഡ് റിസർച്ചർ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു, മോർണിംഗ് സെഷനിൽ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ടിൽ മ്യൂസിക് പ്ലേ ചെയ്യുന്നു, ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ സെഷനിൽ മ്യൂസിക് പ്ലേ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല, ആൻഡ് ഹി ഈസ് കമ്പയറിംഗ് ദ പ്രൊഡക്ടിവിറ്റി of the work in the morning session and the afternoon session. അപ്പോൾ അതിലുള്ള ഡിഫറൻസ് വെച്ചിട്ട് അത് മ്യൂസിക്കിൻ്റെ എഫക്റ്റ് കൊണ്ട് മാത്രമാണ് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഡിഫറൻസ് എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റൂല. കാരണം ഇവിടെ മറ്റൊരു ഫാക്ടർ പ്ലേ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, അതാണ് ടൈം ഓഫ് ഷിഫ്റ്റ്. സോ ടൈം ഓഫ് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു എക്സ്ട്രേനിയസ് വേരിയബിൾ ആണ്. കാരണം ആ ടൈം ഓഫ് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് പ്രൊഡക്ടിവിറ്റിനെ എഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ലൈക്ക് ചില ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്, അവർക്ക് രാവിലെ ചിലപ്പോൾ കൂടുതൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമായിരിക്കും, പക്ഷേ ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ അവരുടെ പ്രൊഡക്ടിവിറ്റി താരതമ്യേന കുറവായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ അത് മ്യൂസിക് കൊണ്ട് മാത്രമല്ല ആ ഡിഫറൻസ് വരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനൊരു പഠനത്തിൽ ഷിഫ്റ്റിൻ്റെ ടൈം ഒരു എക്സ്ട്രേനിയസ് വേരിയബിൾ തന്നെയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു എക്സ്ട്രേനിയസ് വേരിയബിൾ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റ് വേരിയബിളിൽ ഡയറക്റ്റ് എഫക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരേപോലെ മാറ്റം സംഭവിക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് കൺഫൗണ്ടിങ് വേരിയബിളായിട്ടും മാറുന്നുണ്ട്. Now let's see the different types of extraneous variable. The first one is subject variable. These are the characteristics of individuals that are being studied which might affect their action. For example, the age, gender, health status, mood, background, etc. ഒരു വ്യക്തിയുടെ ക്യാരക്ടറിസ്റ്റിക്സ്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ ആ പഠനത്തിന് ആ ഒരു പഠനവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് കിടക്കുന്ന ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റ് വേരിയബിൾ എഫക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാം. Next is the experimental variables, which are the characteristics of the person's conducting the experiment that might infer how a person behaves. അപ്പം റിസർച്ച് ചെയ്യപ്പെടുന്ന ആൾ മാത്രമല്ല, റിസർച്ചറിൽ ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ക്യാരക്ടറിസ്റ്റിക്സും അതും ആ റിസർച്ചിനെ എഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാം എങ്ങനെ വേണമെങ്കിലും. അത് ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റും ഇൻഡിപെൻഡൻറ്റ് വേരിയബിൾ അല്ലാതെ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റ് വേരിയബിൾ എഫക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് റിസർച്ചിൻ്റെ ക്യാരക്ടറിസ്റ്റിക്സിനും പവറുണ്ട്. അവരുടെ എക്സാമ്പിളായി പറഞ്ഞത് റേഷ്യൽ ഡിസ്ക്രിമിനേഷൻ, ലാംഗ്വേജ്, ഇതുപോലത്തുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. മൂന്നാമത്തത് സിറ്റുവേഷണൽ വേരിയബിൾസ്. ദീസ് ആർ ദ ഫീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഓഫ് ദ എൻവയോൺമെന്റ് ഇൻ വിച്ച് ദ സ്റ്റഡി ഓർ റിസർച്ച് വാസ് കണ്ടക്റ്റഡ് ആൻഡ് വിച്ച് ഹാവ് എ ബെയറിംഗ് ഓൺ ദ ഔട്ട്കം ഓഫ് ദ എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ഇൻ എ നെഗറ്റീവ് വേ. Not just the characteristics of the researcher and the person being on whom the research is being conducted, but the settings, the physical setting of the research also plays a very important role in affecting the dependent variable, which can be at the time of the day, just like the example that I have already said, or the temperature, lighting, air, etc. of the room. So now we can move on to the next type of variable, which is the intervening variable. And the intervening variable are those variables which occur between independent and dependent variables. It is caused by the independent variable and is itself a cause of the dependent variable. And അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ it is also known as mediating variable in psychology or interfering variables. And this can better be understood with an example. That is, an example that is best suited for intervening variable is the research is being conducted to find out whether higher education leads to higher income. So we know higher education is the independent factor here and income is the dependent factor. No confusion in that. But is higher education only factor which affects a higher income? No, there is an effect or there is a consequence regarding the independent variable and dependent variable. But what really affects is the occupation of the person. So basically, occupation is dependent upon the education of the person and the income is dependent upon the occupation of the person. So here, occupation becomes the intervening variable between the two because education, mere education is not enough to understand the income pattern of the person. Occupation plays a very important role. So intervening variables is the one that surfaces between the time the independent variable starts operating to influence the dependent variable and the time their impact is felt on it. So a researcher also tried to control the effect of intervening variable to make or bring proper outcome for his research. In an organizational context, intervening variables may include motivation, tiredness, boredom, etc. But one has to understand that it is very difficult to actually control the intervening variable. So next we can move on to the next type of variable. Before going on to the next type of variable, there is a little bit of information that I would like to share with you regarding intervening variable. So the intervening variable was first used by the behavioral psychologist Edward C. Tolman during his study on rat behavior, and in that case hunger was considered to be the intervening variable in his research. So the next type of variable is the dichotomous variable. And a dichotomous variable is one that takes on one of only two possible values when observed or measured. So as the name suggests, it takes only one or the other value or the what is being measured, that is this or that. That is only with a dichotomous variable. It can be, there are various examples for dichotomous variables like heads or tails, male or female, rich or poor, Democrat or Republican, pass or fail, under age 65 or 65 and above. So basically it takes only two values. So that is what dichotomous variable is. And the next type of variable is a continuous variable. So continuous variable can take any value between two numbers. That is those phenomena which can assume different values, even the decimal points, are called the continuous variables. So that is, it takes values like decimal like 2.3, 5.6, etc., etc. And these are actually measured and not counted. Examples are the weight, temperature, time, etc. These are all continuous variable because we know these does not only have whole numbers, there are chances of fractions, and continuous variable also take rational numbers. So when we are talking about continuous variable, we already know what the next variable is going to be. That is discrete variable. So unlike continuous variable, discrete variable only take a specified value in a given interval. That is, it takes countable, those values which are countable in finite number of times. For example, the number of customer complaints or the number of flaws or defects, number of children in a household. That is, basically it takes those values which will not have any decimal. That is, those values which can be counted, which are whole numbers, etc. These are what are considered in discrete variable. So the next type is the quantitative and qualitative variable. So as the name suggests, quantitative are those variables which are measured in terms of number. That is, these are the variables, the phenomena which can take quantitatively different values. That is, height of a person, weight of a person, shoe size of a person, etc. And qualitative variables are those which takes those like attributes, qualitative attributes of things such as hair color, eye color, favorite movie, etc. So basically, qualitative variables are those which cannot be quantified by assigning numerical values to the presence and absence of them. For example, success and failure of an experiment are 0 or 1. So that is basically quantitative variable, and all those which cannot be quantified are considered under the qualitative variables. That is why the qualitative variables are also known as categorical variables or attributes, and the term attributes is very familiar for us. The next type of variable is the observable and dummy variable. A variable that can be observed and directly measured is known as observable variables. And some exploratory variables are called observable variables. We are going to be talking about exploratory variable in the next slide, but exploratory variable we have already discussed it. And these are the measured variables. Example, you analyze results from a major depression inventory. Feeling of sadness, lack of interest in daily activities, and lack of self-confidence are all measured by the inventory and are therefore observed variables. That is, if you are conducting a research regarding depression and you have some key elements or key factors regarding that is which points towards depression. That is, if you're observing, and I repeat, observing, in the person, if you're observing feeling of sadness, lack of interest, lack of sleep, etc., etc., then these can be then the person may have a depression, because these are the pointers, and then these pointers are considered to be the observable or observed variables. And the next one is the dummy variable. These are the variable that takes values of 0 and 1, where the value indicates the presence or absence of something. These are basically used in regression analysis, and dummy variables are like also known as pseudo variables, because it's just used for the presence or absence of something. This is mainly used for the purpose of algebraic manipulation. And the last classification is the exploratory and criterion variable, and we have already actually discussed about this. That is, exploratory variable is actually the independent variable, and criterion variable is actually the dependent variable. That is, exploratory variable, the manipulations on the exploratory variable will have a direct effect on the criterion variable, and exploratory variables are also known as independent variables or external or exogenous variables, and criterion variable is also known as endogenous variables or dependent variables. So basically the meaning is same as the independent and dependent variable. So that's all about the types of variables. We can just go through the different types once more. That is independent variable, dependent variable, extraneous variable, confounding variable, intervening variable, dichotomous variable, continuous and discrete variables, quantitative and qualitative variables, observable variables and dummy variables, and finally exploratory variables and criterion variable, which is nothing other than independent and dependent variable. Thank you.